to the Supreme Court judgment handed down today at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have noted the decision of the Supreme Court of Zimbabwe, which dismissed, without proffering any reasons, the appeal by President Saviour Kasukuwere on the basis that it lacks merit. Regrettably and unfortunately, the court failed to deliver reasons of coming up with such a conclusion in a matter where millions of Zimbabweans were awaiting the results and have an interest in knowing what led to the court's decision. The court delivered a bare judgment with a promise to deliver reasons in the future. It is a sad day for Zimbabwe. As stated earlier by counsel for President Saviour Kasukuwere, the country faces a constitutional crisis. The Supreme Court, in its judgment, has surely abdicated its duties, its judicial function, and as such, the legal team has been instructed to approach the Constitutional Court to apply for direct access so that the Constitutional Court can review this decision. These processes, which are already in motion, are fortified by the deep-rooted desire to save our beloved country and state institutions from the brazen capture, which is escalating to the extent of plunging the whole country into a constitutional and electoral crisis. What we have seen in the past few days, coupled with the High Court order from Lawayo, which also set aside the nomination of CCC candidates, we are seeing that this election is unique in its own way because it is being played out in the courtrooms. The judiciary has usurped the people's power to decide who to lead them. The fate of the country has now been captured by a few individuals who have taken it upon themselves to twist the law and apply it unevenly in such a manner as to prejudice and deprive the majority of Zimbabweans of their right to vote, which is enshrined in the Constitution. It is all the more sad regarding the history of this country, where we come from, how this right for one man, one vote was attained through the blood of the many sons and daughters of our nation who died in the bushes, who died outside of the country, to ensure that each and every one of us is entitled to their vote. Yet today, a few individuals closed in judiciary clothes have taken it upon themselves to limit that right and to stifle the political space. This is indeed sad and regrettable. Whilst President Kasukuwere pursues his options to protect his own rights and the rights of his supporters and the rights of millions of Zimbabweans to have a say and a choice in determining who leads them, we wish to make it abundantly clear that the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission is legally bound to print the paper with President Kasukuwere's name and face. We also take note of the fact that up to yesterday, or up to today at 9, the Commission could legitimately do so, but chose to wait and straddle and break timelines whilst they waited for this matter to be finalized, as there was no court order preventing the printing of the ballot with President Kasukuwere's name on it, there was no reason for ZEC to wait. The timelines of the electoral process have been compromised and breached. Why were they waiting? A nation deserves to know. Are they working in collusion with the party in power? Were they aware, or did they somehow know of the outcome of today's court case before any of us did? It was at the end of the day, it would seem like they were waiting for this day. So we challenge ZEC to maintain its independence, and we express our extreme disappointment that they chose to breach electoral timelines, which will make this election a sham, because they were playing interested party in the political arena. In light of all this and the many other transgressions, we have faced persecution, our billboards being torn down, contrary to the code of conduct governing all political parties. We wish to state that the forthcoming election can never be deemed to be free and fair. It's a compromised process. It's a tarnished process. Any government arising out of such a sham process cannot claim legitimacy. It will be a sham government. And this is not what the people of Zimbabwe went to war for. To be shepherded into sham elections, which have been predetermined by making it difficult for other players to participate evenly. You cannot say that this is a democracy. The actions of the government acting in collusion or under the guise of the judiciary clearly show that the Constitution is no longer respected. The separation of powers is no longer separated. There is collusion, independent constitutional bodies, the judiciary are working hand in glove, seemingly, with the ruling party to avert the will of the people of Zimbabwe. This is regrettable and unfortunate in the history of our country. I'll hand over to Comrade Jim to just outline the political response that we should expect going forward from President Kasukuwere's campaign team. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I find you well. To me, it's not a sad day because of the outcome of the Supreme Court ruling against the appeal of our president, Saviour Kasukuwere. We are politicians, comrades. We will not be shaken by the ruling of the Supreme Court today. I would like to advise our campaigning teams across the country that we are continuing with our business as usual. Tyson is going to be on the ballot box, whether ED likes or not. We are going to push, we are going to do anything to make sure that our presidential candidate appears on the ballot paper come 23 August. There are issues that need a political solution. So we have changed the gear now. We are engaging into another level of politics. We don't care, we don't mind that Mnangagwa claims to be police, claims to be army, claims to be courts, judiciary, whatever. We are going to hand over our boats to him. If he's going to deal with us, let it be. What we want to see in Zimbabwe is democracy. You should not choose an opponent to contest with. He's just like Saviour Kasukuwere himself. So when somebody says, "Here I come, I want to be the president of Zimbabwe according to the constitution," ED should simply allow the processes to go smoothly. He should not interfere with the judicial system. As you see, comrades, that already this election is a rigged election. Rigged by the courts. He is using the courts to send a signal that he is a winner already. Just imagine, by dismissing those 12 MPs from Triple C, already ZANU-PF has pocketed 12 uncontested MPs, they have councillors, they have already senators. Now he comes again today, he says Saviour Kasukuwere should not contest an election. Why is he afraid of Saviour? There is Kasia Murde, he doesn't stay in Zimbabwe. Busha doesn't stay in Zimbabwe, but they are there on the list of those who want to contest for being presidents of Zimbabwe. Why only Saviour Kasukuwere? If that young boy Lovedale is claiming that his rights are being violated by Kasukuwere being on the ballot, what about myself? What about those who nominated their presidential candidates? Their rights are also being violated by ED himself. Why I'm saying it's ED, not Lovedale. It's just a trick that is being used by ED to send Lovedale to go and challenge the nomination of our presidential candidate. We are going to mobilize our people across 10 provinces, sooner the better. We are going to make this loud and clear that it's now high time we take the bull by its horns. If it means they are going to kill us, let it be. If they are going to arrest us, let it be. Jails are not meant for animals, they are meant for the people. So we are ready. We are going to make sure all our regional leaders across the country, our commissars, will be mobilizing for a very big event to follow. We will call you again here in few days, giving a signal to our comrades in different provinces for the next move that we are going to take. We will leave the legal team to take their own route. We as politicians, we are going to take our own route as politicians. The legal team will be doing their own legal ways. We will be doing our political way. So it's high time, comrades, we make sure that we whip this old guy, this old man to lie.
He must know that Zimbabwe belongs to everyone, not to himself. We are all Zimbabweans. We are tired of being abused each and every time. He's the one who appoints judges. He's the one who appoints the commissioners of the police, the generals from the army and everything. And he is using that opportunity to abuse other Zimbabweans. Yes, he is the leader at the moment, but you should allow competition. Let people choose their best presidential candidate for the betterment of our country. So we are organizing a very big event that will take place in all the 10 provinces. We are not bringing people in Harare, but we are going to make sure that all the provinces on that day, they are going to gather at a certain place and demonstrate. We hand over our petition to the relevant authorities. It's high time we come open, comrades, that our courts are captured. The judiciary system is captured. How do you really expect a judge, a learned person, just to come and say, your case is dismissed, and we will give you the reasons later? They were supposed to tell us the reasons why they have dismissed our case, our appeal. But they didn't, because they are not the ones who are preparing, or they are not the ones who have prepared that dismissal. It was prepared by other people there. So I think our knuckles are itching for a bare fight until to the end. We are not afraid of anyone else. We are Zimbabweans. We are allowed to demonstrate. We are allowed to show to the whole world that there is no democracy in our country. We can't breathe now. We have been suppressed by the oppressor. Smith was better than this. We are now having a black Smith in our country. So, when they went to war themselves, they were fighting to have freedom. With that freedom. So, we are not going to fold our hands, comrades. Expect us to act as politicians. Something is coming on board. We're going to mobilize our people. You know, there's something that spoke in my mind. As it is when I have just allow Tyson to go and contest or one get 0 votes. Doing all this, Kuchka. Muruma no Murumi. We are going to demonstrate. This is coming. But we have to fashaira issues. Tinoibika manje. Taneta will notify. We will notify them, and if they don't accept our notification, we will go ahead. We will go ahead. We are ready for anything on our way. I think I take a revolution, it's in my challenges, it's in my obstacles. In a revolution. What we are fighting for is not us, comrades. We are just fighting for the generations to come. No. So I'm ready to put my head on the block and march forward to make sure that democracy prevails at the end of the day. I thank you.